Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in Silverstone. You've just seen the F2s. We're going into the F1s where the big boys sit for a 100% race. I'm Ben Raggy McConnell, and joining the commentator's desk is, as always, the incredibly talented, it's Jess. How you doing?
I'm doing great tonight, thanks, Ben. The British Grand Prix is definitely the home of British motorsport. It's been on the calendar since the very beginning, and I'm very excited to see what the drivers have in store today.
Well, that's the thing. It's been on there for so long. Everyone knows how the track performs, right? But as the cars have evolved over the years, they've actually had to sort of adopt the circuit a little bit more, and they can really push the limits. The DRS is obviously going to help them out quite a fair bit, but there's so many other areas on the circuit where you can just go full send. Speaking of full send, Andy currently leading the Drivers' Championship still with 62 points. Last week was a fantastic result, which finally got him up there. It was held by the Racing Point team, but they now have fallen just slightly. Sumit P2, Yenna P3, Top Tom in fourth there, 33 points. He's still in that Drivers' Championship battle by for some stretch, but he's got a lot of work to do to bring it on back. Danico is currently just outside that top 10 there. He's sat in P11 with Beaker P12. Ben 13th with 2 points. Jesper, the only other driver to get a point, as Dennis Higgsy, Luca, Phoenix Legend, Dylan, and Vexit are all sat on the big donut ring of death. 0 points for each of them. The constructors is slightly different. Racing Point are ahead. They are 96 points to Mercedes 88. So, you know, the way they two have been going, it seems like it's going to be a two-horse race all the way to the end. Although Top Tom is trying as hard as he can, he's just needing Dylan to sort of pull his weight just a little bit, shall we say. Now, the starting grid, which has slightly changed just a little bit since this was created, but nothing too severe. The rest will be as you see. So Ben, because of the performance that Camille put in, will be starting on pole. And then you got Andy in P3, Brownie P4. All of these guys did do it on the intermediates because it was wet in Q2. Sumit at P5, Yonti P6. I was actually wet in Q3. Dylan P7, Yenna P8. So that's going to be pretty tight between them. Dylan finally getting a good qualifying result. Higgs at P9, Hwenny in P10. Mercedes being a bit split up a little bit. Danico in P11, Matteo P12. AlphaTauri split up even more. It was Ben on P1. And Ben Matteo P12, Beaker P13, Copy 14th. Copy's going to need a fantastic race so far to bring some points back. Phoenix Legend couldn't get a time on the board. We'll start 15th. Geldervand in 16th place. Jesper 17th, and Dennis right down there in 18th place. Assassin there is in 19th. We'll actually be starting in the Ferrari today, and Luca will be your 20th driver here. We're actually going to go to a hot lap to see exactly how you're meant to drive this circuit. Okay, so Yonti giving us a good tour. As you're coming towards turn 1, you need to just flick the car through. Keep your foot pinned all the way through turn 1 and turn 2. Bring yourself right over to the left-hand side because you want to slow the car right down to open up the right-hander. Again, bring yourself right over to the right side because you want to open up the left-hander for one of the two most important corners on the circuit. The exit here has to be crisp and clean. We got DRS on right now. It's going to be a charge all the way down the Wellington Straight. You want to stay right over to the right-hand side because you want to try and open up this left here. Try and carry as much momentum as you can, but not too much because you need to then think about this right-hander here. This is another important corner, but not quite as important as the other two that I'm about to mention. So, charge on through here. You got the Cops corner coming up in just a second. You want to make sure that you're as far over to the left as you possibly can. And if you do this right, you can keep it flat, but not necessarily in the race. As the tires start to wear, you may have to start lifting or adjust your differential to try and accommodate for that. Coming into now Maggots and Beckett's. They got the left-hander. And now this is the most important corner. You've got to get the exit just right here because the DRS wing will be chucked wide open. It's a huge overtaking opportunity as you come in towards the long right-hander for Stowe. You want to try and carry a lot of momentum through here, and you can actually run a little bit wide, but you don't want to run out too wide as you carry it over to the right side again. You break at the 100-meter board, get yourself right down the gears into the second to last corner, and now the final to go ahead and do it all over again going into the Grand Prix. Now, we are here at Silverstone. Jess, can you remember, did you see the quali?
I didn't have a chance to, but I did know that Britain definitely throws spanner in the works when it comes to wet weather because we see wet weather all the time. So I was not surprised to see some wet weather in there. But it's a very close qualifying once again. It's a track that everybody loves anyway, so I was expecting it to be as close as it can. And a track where you can overtake pretty much almost anywhere. I think the main overtaking opportunities I would say would be the Wellington Straight heading into Brooklands, maybe even to the Stowe as well, and even some people can try heading up a move on the inside of Cops as well. So there's plenty of opportunity today, and even in towards the final corner. So I can't call who's going to take the win today, but I'm very excited to see how this pans out for the drivers. It's an easy strategy in terms of the tyres derogation. It's not too bad usually on this game, especially on in 50%. 100% we don't know, but I think it could be an easy one stop, but some people may say it's two stop. I don't know. That's the beauty of these 100% races. We don't have a clue about these strategies.
Exactly. That's literally nailed it on the head there. From our perspective, it's so new to us still that we're not actually sure what the strategies are going to be. However, I do want to point out Ben. Obviously, Camille did the qualifying for him, so wherever Camille qualified, Ben will start. Camille actually put it on pole, which is why Ben is up there. And I would actually, I don't want to say that Ben's rubbish in any way, shape, or form, because that's definitely not the case at all. But I would say that he is out of his depth a little bit here, with Top Tom, Andy, Brownie, Samidia, all there on the back of them. This is where you're going to need to see a real masterclass of driving from Ben if he wants to keep hold of even a podium, I think, here. It's going to be really difficult for him to do regardless. And then you've got, outside of that top three, you've got Samidia and Yenab, the Racing Point boys, who, very well known for their consistency. They're very well known for their strategy calls with the helping hand that they've got from the race engineer of Fossetti, who's actually given us a little bit of juice in the chat. Says big strat calls incoming. Interesting. We do, however, need to get a prediction in. So, Jess, you ever think about what your prediction is going to be for who's going to be winning the race, who's going to get P2, and who's going to get P3, whilst I ask the Twitch chat. Guys in the Twitch chat, please let me know in the chat who you think is going to win this race, who's getting the P2, and who's getting the P3. I think it's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. It's just, who's going to get what and where? I have no idea.
It's going to be tough, and we're seeing the tyre strategies here today, because they got 3 tyre choices. Obviously, Q2 was the intermediate tyres, so everyone in the top 14 on the mediums, as well as from P17 to P20, and then we got Phoenix and Geldervan on the soft. Now, that's going to be interesting, but I'm going to go out on my predictions. I'm going to go for Andy P1, Top Tom... Actually, no, Andy P1, some idiot, I'm going to go bold here. He's going to get P2, because... He always downplays his predictions. He thinks, I'm not going to get a podium. This is a track where I think he could deliver, so I think he's going to get P2. And I think Top Tom is going to get P3.
Now, if you remember back to the interviews last week, we were talking to the Racing Point, and they didn't seem very confident, did they? Let's be honest.
No. I think Top Tom's got, some idiot has got a good shot of getting P2, so that's what my thinking. And how about you, before we start the race?
I think Top Tom's going to win, honestly. This is a track that I think Top Tom is actually going to be incredibly strong at. I think Andy will be right there on the back of him in P2. I really expect this to be an absolutely juicy Grand Prix. But you've got to back your boy Samidia for a P3, right? Surely. The guy is just a machine. He deserves it, and I cannot wait to see what he can deliver. But the 100% race now here in Silverstone will start when the lights go out, which they have just done, and we are away. It's a beautiful start for the majority of the drivers. No one having any real issues. It looks like Top Tom has not been able to get past Ben before we get towards turn 1. How's it going down the field? Oh, there's a Ferrari that's right off at the back there. I think that was Luca. Yes, it was. He's bringing himself back onto the track nice and safely. Should hopefully get away with that. Never mind, he's got a penalty. Oh, no, his teammate has been rotated. That's Assassin. That's less than ideal. Luca's starting as he means to go on with that penalty. It's now just how much... Oh, big contact in the back. Huge contact in the back there.
Phoenix and Jesper.
Yeah, huge. I think there's big damage there on the Renault. And I think there's also big damage there on Jesper. I'll have to come back to that in a short while, but I want to stay on board with Ben because he is being chased. He's like the rabbit that's been hunted down by the dogs. Can he actually keep himself ahead of them all? He's not yet got DRS to worry about, but he does have to worry about his natural pace overall. And this is going to be really sweaty from here on out.
Yeah, it is as well. He's doing very well to hold on to the lead at the moment, but we know that Top Tom and Andy is a bit more consistent anyway, so we shall see what happens. Meanwhile, the no penalty king of Yenab is up into 7, but we've got Winnie and Jonty going for a move into the hangar straight. No DRS, don't forget, and they've already used an overtake quite early on. This could hinder progress into this race. Let's see what the Mercedes driver could do. Around the left-hand side he goes, and he's up into 7th place, overtaking Yenab, and Jonty didn't take advantage of that anyway, meanwhile, Mateo's up into 11th, Higgsy up into 12th position, and Geldervan not making the ground that he wanted to right now, but we're starting to see the pecking order starting to form for the likes of, I would say, for like Top Tom, Andy, etc. But as Phoenix Legend, not surprising with the time for the session, we've seen a Williams that's spun somewhere. I think that's Higgsy. Yes, it is Higgsy.
Yep. Oh, and the Ferrari's got wing damage as well. That is, I believe, Luca. Higgsy's got he got a 5-second penalty for a big collision. We have got a safety car that has been pulled out. So we'll see now whether or not that we end up with any further issues going to this race. Just bringing the top bar back at the top of the screen. Apologies, I forgot to put that back on. We didn't even touch the strategy call. A couple of people went on softs, one of which has gone into the pits and actually switched off of that. That is Dennis. I also want to mention, I've been told that we're expecting heavy rain with 10 minutes left to go in the race. So we'll see if that does end up forming. But Ben has really been given a lifeline here. We are now on lap 3, I believe.
2, I believe. 2. The timing glitch always puts us on lap 3, but we're not on lap 2, I think.
Yeah, Samidia is, in fact, still P4. Fear not, Cassias. Definitely still alive.
He's all good.
Podium hopes and dreams are going.
Yeah, he's not that far, so he's still got an opportunity. Brownie, I've got to say, has maintained his position as well, stays in 5th place, so he could be a shout for a podium spot too. So don't put his hopes out for a podium as well. Literally, Dylan has had no trouble so far in terms of his start as well. He hasn't been involved in any instance, and he's been able to keep the likes of Rennie, Yenab, Yonti, Danico, Teo, and behind him. Galvan's off to the pit, so he must have had a bit of a issue, or he just may want to get rid of his softs. I don't blame him, but hardly anyone is going in apart from Luca and Higgsy, and I know Luca and Higgsy had damage. I wonder if Galvan was caught in that incident earlier as well.
Well, Higgsy's also gone into the pits and got caught speeding in there as well, so 5-second penalty for Higgsy. It's not all over though, bear that in mind, it's not all over. The rain coming later will actually start to spice things up that little bit more. We're going to see more issues as this race goes on when the strategy calls start to come out as well. Remember, we've got 52 laps in total for this Grand Prix, so very much still everything to play for. We may even see another safety car for all we know. We do have the biggest winners so far. Assassin up 5 places, obviously got the advantage of starting right near the back, can gain very easily. Biggest loser, of course, is Higgsy. 9 places lost due to major contact and also issues faced on the run. Geldervan has actually switched to the hards. I don't know how hard. I mean, under 50% conditions, the hards can pretty much do the entire race. Under 100% conditions, I have no idea.
Well, I've done a 100% race around Britain Shore, and pretty much, I couldn't quite believe it myself. It may be a similar tyre situation, but it's just the same amount of laps, 52 laps. The hards actually can make it for the entire race in Britain Shop, but we don't know about Britain, so hards are a very durable tyre around here, so I won't be surprised if it makes almost the entire race. So if Galvan plays his cards right, this could be a very good strategy, but don't forget the delta is about a second difference between the softs and the hards, and the 5/10 difference between the mediums and the hards, so he's got a lot of work to do, but if he can keep up his consistent pace, then this could work well for him. He's got no penalties either, so he's not had the worst of races so far, even though he did have to pit for damage, but the safety car has definitely helped him get back into the lead lap, pretty much does all these drivers now, and I think it'll come in, I think next lap or the lap after, because we're waiting for Dennis to catch up as well as the 2 of the soft ones. I'm intrigued on why Luca and Higgsy and Dennis have gone for softs again.
Yeah. There's an interesting call. I mean, I guess maybe they're just trying to get the softs to go a certain point, go to mediums to go, then take it to the point of where the rain will come. So I think regardless that they're of the opinion, well, if I take the softs now as far as they will go, at least then when it comes to the mediums, then I should actually be able to then manage that a bit better, because the softs will just drop. When they drop, they drop. When the mediums drop, there's a little bit of life you can still keep going with it. Let me just try and fix the notification. Do you want to try once more, please, Furball? Should hopefully be working now.
Fingers crossed.
If it doesn't, spam it. Well, we tested it beforehand. We were celebrating that it worked. It worked in the F2s. Now it suddenly stopped working. I can only blame Furball.
Yeah, Furball, you idiot. I'm only joking. Furball is a nice guy. He's back in head steward duties this week after Raven Duck did a really good job last week. So glad to have Verbal back in head steward duties today. Let's hope that it's plain sailing from here on out.
Well, and if you remember, actually, last week, when Ravenhook was there, it was one of the cleanest races we've seen for a very long time. I don't think there was any incidents actually.
There was one verdict, I think, and that was during the race, I believe.
And then, look at this. We're 2 laps in. We had a safety car, of all things. So, yeah, I think, realistically, Furball gives us all of the action. Ravenhook gives us the clean racing. But we want destruction. We want broken wings. We want tears. We want all of it. Give us all the drama. We'll take it all. So, Furball, thank you, mate. We appreciate you being here.
I think he's liked to be back, obviously, as well. We obviously have a guest steward too, and no sign of when the safety car is coming in, unless it will have a pop-up this lap. I don't know. I don't get these pop-ups for some weird reason.
No. It's not coming in now. It is staying out at least for another lap. I think it's because we're waiting for Dennis to catch up to the back of the pack. The sadist, as always. I just want my tyre explosion. That's all. Am I asking for too much?
We said it last week. We said it the week before. We said it in Abu Dhabi. This is, I think, a track where it could happen, because we saw it in real life with Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. If the track conditions get hotter, but it's not going to, it depends on when the rain comes as well. That is going to be, because if the rain comes a lot sooner than we thought, then they're going to have to be on the inters or the 4 weights for a very long time, and they're going to overheat like crazy. So, my oh my, that's going to be, I think, an interesting sight to behold, but we shall see, as everyone has caught up now, so surely we should go back to green flag action soon, but, let's see what happens.
Credit to Ben, did a very good job to control his nerves, because I imagine he's going to be feeling quite nervous, given the fact he's got so many people that are incredibly quick on the back of him. Managed to stay in P1 for this. Obviously, has bought himself at least another couple laps before DRS gets involved. The good thing about this circuit is that when the safety car is called in, we'll know at the beginning of Sector 3. That is also the same notification the drivers get when with these safety cars coming in, so they'll start to be able to back the pack right on up, and Ben gets full control as to how this one is going to start. I've been told that all of the Lap 1 incidents will be looked at after the race, so bear that in mind. There'll be no verdicts issued for the Lap 1 incident, or incidents, shall we say, because there were a fair few. Are we going to have a safety car come in this lap, please?
Please. We don't want just cars in a procession. We want action, for goodness sake. We want to see people go pedal to the metal, as George Morgan would like to say, and actually get some racing go. Actually like that saying.
Here we go.
Here it is, finally.
Safety car is in.
I didn't get a notification, but I could see on the mini map on the right hand side of my screen that the safety car is pulled away quite a bit. So that's my notification that the safety car is in. So. Yeah, Ben is holding people up quite a lot. He wants to warm his tyres up and wants to get the perfect start possible. And whenever they start accelerating, they can't slow down. That is it. So Top Tom is probably waiting for the perfect moment. If Ben doesn't get it right, Top Tom could be right on this. And I think they're going to get going right now. Oh. Yes, they are. Ben's got a really good start, safety car restart. The others have been caught napping, but Ben just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, Top Tom really did not expect him to go. I don't know why he didn't expect him to go there. That is a very common place to actually restart the race there. Andy also didn't really try to do anything on Top Tom. I think he was kind of watching Andy, watching Top Tom go and just kind of followed suit. Although, despite everything that Ben did off that start, immediately Top Tom is kind of closed back in again. Half a second gap, which is still pretty decent for him. When he's trying to close in on Dylan, who's actually had a pretty good start so far. Don't want to jinx him, so I'm going to be careful what I say. When he's still sitting behind them for now. It's whether or not we're going to see them down that hangar straight. I think that's where we're going to see the first of the overtakes happening.
Yeah, we haven't seen many overtakes at the moment up the front, but we can see the two Ferraris battling each other at the background. And Ferraris haven't scored any points today, this season, as we've seen the Williams almost go off. But the Ferraris need to step up their game, because most the other teams that had a chance to, they got points last week. Ferrari didn't. Brexit, Vexit almost got points, but he was very unlucky in Japan, and it was a bit of a shame as well. But look at this. This could be the overtaking opportunity we're could be seeing between Rennie and Dylan, but couldn't quite do it as of yet. But we're going to wait for the DRS zone. Maybe in lap 8 is when the DRS will be enabled. So this could be everybody's chance to bounce back a little bit. And everyone seems to be doing very well, as Copy's dropped off a little bit from Jesper. But apart from that, everyone seems to be very close at the moment.
Yep. Lucas set a new fastest lap there, 129.946. Has actually got himself a penalty from the first lap. If you remember, he did end up going very wide off the edge of the circuit and ended up having a rejoin that penalised him. I think that will probably removed because it was a bit unfair, I think. Yanab actually looking for a potential move here on Hweni. Hweni did defend it quite nicely. That will mean that Yanab will just fall back in place and just carry on with the train. The train is pretty lengthy right now, from P1 down to P13. Copied just outside of it, like you mentioned. Although he is trying hard to bring that back in again. It was almost back in it. DRS, like you said, being enabled next lap will mean then that the drivers can actually start firing one up the inside of people. And that's where all the juice will happen.
Bring it on, guys. Come on. Let's hope the drivers can put on the show today like we've seen in the past few races. In particular, last week, I really enjoyed a lot around Japan. Japan always brings out some excitement, but I know Silverstone does as well. Even though I hate racing it, I love watching it because they like to go send around the inside of Stowe, especially where we'll see the moves like we said. But, you know, we're starting to see Top Tom draw Ben in now, and this could be the moment where Top Tom can go for a move in the first DRS zone activation point, which is before the Wellington straight, and that's really where they could hit hard. And look at that, Top Tom is almost on the gearbox of Ben right now, and he could be there too as well. I wonder what is thinking of Ben's mind at the moment as Higgsy's out of the race and he's retired in the pit lane.
Yeah. I think something must have gone wrong for him on that lap, and he just said, I've had enough. Speeds into the pit lane, instantly retires. That is him done and dusted, and now left the session. But yeah, like you say, Top Tom on the back of Ben. The DRS being available does give him the extra oomph that he needs in order to start putting a lot of pressure on Ben. And this is now where we're going to see what Ben is properly made of. He's had a decent restart. He's held on to that P1 and doesn't actually have to put absolutely everything on it. But it does mean that now he really needs to focus on just keeping that ERS battery alive, not burning it away too much, but also he's got to worry about Andy, who's also feeling very quick. They're very close to each other right now. This is now going to be Andy. If he puts pressure on Top Tom, Ben could push away here, and Ben actually might be able to just survive a little bit longer. I don't see him continuing in P1 for much longer than he's already at, but Top Tom's gone. That was a fantastic exit from him. That one instance will be investigated after the race, as confirmed by the steward's notification that she's finally working. Happy days. Woo! Top Tom closing in on Ben. Ben's going to have to worry about... Oh, he defended it. Top Tom manages to abort just in time when he's actually going alongside Dylan here. Dylan's got the inside when he's on the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next left-hander, and I think Hweni should just about be able to get that. Yes, he has. Up to P6 then for him. And Dylan will actually need to start panicking a bit now because that gap between Hweni and Brownie has broken outside the 1 second margin. Suddenly a podium looks like it's not going to be too beneficial to him.
Yeah, but never say never. It's not over until the checkered flag falls. And look at that, Andy's still right on the back of Top Tom. I mean, Andy's been consistent as well. Top Tom has not got a race win yet, and he knows he's hungry for it. But Andy wants to try and get another one after his fantastic performance last week. But since there are 100% races, there's still quite a lot of strategy to come about with the threat of rain as well at the end of the race. That is also something to take into consideration as well. And we could see people go for very risky moves as we head towards Cops as well. We haven't seen many people try it, but towards the end we could, of the dry stint, we could try and maybe see that as well, as everyone's on the memes now apart from Miguel who's on the hard. So everyone's on a similar tyre life at this stage apart from Luke, who's been on those tyres for 4 laps. But let's see what these top 3 can do now. Top Tom has really got to be on his A game now as well. Both of these guys are under huge pressure as well. DRS wide open. He's got plenty of ERS to use, so let's see if he can get it into... Nope, he's a little bit too further back to make the move, same as Andy as well. To be fair, I'm very, very impressed with Ben managing to hold his own at the moment. But we got Yenab getting the move past Dylan. Dylan's lost 2 places now.
Yeah, and Danica was actually trying to fire one down the inside of Yonti into Stowe. There was a little bit of contact between them, which sent Yonti off the circuit for a very mild minute. but everybody's still okay. No damage, no disaster. But yeah, like you said, it is less than ideal for Dylan now. He's lost 2 places. He needs to try and figure out where his pace is going wrong and immediately fix it.
Yeah, I mean, he's seeing his teammate doing well as well. Maybe he could learn from him on how we could improve a little bit as well. But you can see Tom trying to make a move into Brooklands, and now Luffield. This could really be his chance. Ben has to defend for his life, but it looks like Tom is going to get the lead. But Ben Gill looks like he's got a better run, but Tom is having none of that. But you can see as they defend into Cops. Wow. Tom almost had the edge there, but I got to say, bravo to Ben there for his performance so far. But this could be an opportunity for Andy to sniff at these 2 battling as well. But I have to say, Ben must be feeling nervous, but it's definitely not showing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, clearly I've thrown Ben away and said, no, he's not good enough for this. There's no way. But Tom's going to try again. This time outside through Stowe. Ben might be able to defend this quite hard, but Tom's got the grip he needs. He's round the outside. He's just slightly off the track.
He might have it.
I think now it's all about the battle of the brakes. Ben is insane. How is he defending it? He's kept him at bay. Ben regains the lead. Tom is going to stay P2, and all this is doing as they continue fighting is bunching the pack right and up again. I throw everything I said about Ben out the window. Ben is OP.
Well, I'm pretty shocked, to be honest. I thought he would drop down to like 3rd or 4th or something, but he's nailing it. To be honest, he said to me this is one of his favourite tracks, and he's definitely pulling out all the stops here. But look at Andy, though. Andy's right on the back of Tom as well. This is not the music that Tom would like to hear, I have to say, but Tom's on the back of Ben once again. This is RNL action that we've been hoping to see for a long time. 5 cars, even 6, battling for the lead. I mean, I was expecting Tom and Andy in some minutes to be in that battle, but Ben is just insane right now. Let's hope it continues, touch wood, and he could pull off a really good performance. But to be honest, anything more than a top 5, I think, would be pretty good for him, because we're not expecting him to win. But if he does, I'm going to have to apologise to him after this race.
Well, so am I. I think we both threw him under the bus. We're looking at him as the underdog. Here comes Tom again. Round the outside through Stowe again. Can Ben hold him off again? He's going to keep it much faster this time. Much better ahead. There was a bit of contact between the 2 of them. Don't think Ben can make it around the outside. He's going to try it, though. What? Is he really going to stick this one more time? Tom's got a little bit further ahead. There's a little bit more contact between the 2 of them. I think Ben... Has he done it again? 3 times in a row, he's managed to hold Tom. Even though Tom was a little bit further ahead this time, I don't think he's going to be able to yeet it on the inside.
Andy!
And Ben,
It's Andy!
once again, holds back Tom, and Andy went for a send. It didn't work out. Tom's going to look for the inside out. Ben, Andy's going to capitalize here, surely. There's no way that he doesn't.
This is... I'm speechless right now. I'm absolutely speechless. It's nice to see someone... No. It's nice to see someone different challenging for the win. It's going to be 3 wide Andy with a send there round the outside. Oh, it's Tom spun. Tom spun, no. But can he get it together? He does get it together, but he loses place in the process. But because of that, Andy's gone from 3rd to now leading this race.
Holy Jesus. What an absolutely fantastic little battle that was. 3 wide through Brooklands and Luffield, and they kept it pretty much all together. Even with the Tom having that little minor issue there, they kind of forced him down just a touch, but what an absolutely defensive display we've seen from Ben there. Fantastic stuff. But now he's got that hard work. Now he has to stay with Andy. He's doing a good job of it so far. He's obviously 1 lap in. Danny Coe managing to just slip by Dylan as well. Dylan falling even further down the order than he was before, but he's still keeping with him. He just needs to make sure that they stay in this train. It is a big train all the way up from P1 right the way down to P17. That's how close it is.
Ooh,
it's just now making sure, though, that all of this battling doesn't cause you to lose any unnecessary positions. And I don't even know if this happens for the entirety of this 100% race, I don't think we're going to have any voice boxes left for Among Us after this.
To be honest, I've been commentating since like 4:15 with only a half an hour break, and there was a lot of action there as well. I thought I'm going to have a bit of a break with not many action, but we're getting loads of action. I'm definitely going to have no voice after this, but wow. I have to say, well done to everybody so far for keeping it calm and keeping it collected. And I'm going to throw my predictions out the window now. I'm just going to let this race unfold. It could possibly change as well. Andy's starting to pull away a little bit as well. This could be some idiot's chance to have a podium. He did say he didn't want to, he's not going to get a podium. So I'm going to, he's eating his words at the moment. He's getting that podium.
Yeah, he really looks it. Something I'm keeping a close eye on is Hwenny. He's actually been flying lap after lap. He's closing in quite nicely on Top Tom. Obviously, did have that bit of a rotation further back. So whether or not Hwenny is actually able to attack here. The incident between Andy, Ben, and Top Tom on lap 12 is under investigation. I don't really think anything's going to come of that. I think they're just doing it more just to clarify that it definitely was all okay and nothing further than a racing incident. I mean, when you go 3 wide through there, it's going to be tough. You accept that that's going to be a risk you're going to face, and I think nobody is surprised that one of them ended up like that. It was just a matter of who, really. Unfortunately, Top Tom drew that short straw, did fall down to P5, but again, he's still well within this. The only worry, though, is that Ben is actually starting to drop back just a touch here from our race leader. It is a 9/10 gap, does have DRS, and he's used a tiny bit of ERS to help close him in a little bit. It does really help Ben that he has got an esports driver giving him the race engineering right now in Nicholas Longate. It's just kind of helping him through all of these corners, work out how to defend, how to attack. Yes, Ben has now fallen outside of the DRS for Andy, but he's still P2. Machine. This is fantastic stuff.
Andy's a machine, though, I have to say. Like, whenever he's in the race lead, he dominates. It's not because Ben has been P2. Literally, he could dominate with anyone in P2, to be honest. Even somebody at Top Tom or Brownie or the likes of them. So, you know, Andy just doing his normal Saturday evening drive, I have to say. But, yeah, Ben has definitely been impressing me. And to be honest, he managed to get his first points last week. I think it was 9th, wasn't it, that he got? I can't remember where he finished, but he did. Both AlphaTauris managed to score points for the team. This could be huge in leapfrogging them in the constructors as well. I'd like to see Matteo up there as well, but Matteo knows that Beaker, Yonti, and Luca got penalties, so he's not giving up hope as of yet. And don't forget, we got Yanab in the equation as well. This is, and he's still managing to keep the likes of somebody and Brownie behind him, Ben is. I mean, what? I honestly, I'm still shocked under belief as well. I'm not going to say anything more. I have other things about him that I'm going to say related to the rain, but I'm not going to say too much because I'm worried I'm going to jinx him, so I'm going to leave it there. Ben's now within DRS range again.
Yeah, he is. He's managed to recover that quite nicely, but it has cost him a little bit of ERS as a result. The incident between Andy, Ben, and Top Tom, yep, as I expected, no further action. To be honest, I fully expected that. I mean, obviously, they needed to investigate just to clarify that there was definitely no wrongdoings done, shall we say. Oh, big off-track there from Brownie. That was not the right way to go through there. That's actually cost him to be outside the DRS. I think he was just outside of that for the detection line. He's also really low on that ERS, whereas Top Tom is not. Brownie did not get DRS, so here comes Top Tom. The gap is just about enough for him to, I think, get alongside of him by the time we get to Stowe. He's not using the ERS, so he's just going to try and close in a little bit, but he needs to hurry up and get past Brownie. That gap has been extended to a 1.3 second gap now, and if it carries on in that way, Top Tom will be off the podium by a margin and a half, and despite his outright pace being fantastic, this is really going to be quite tough.
Yep, it is for Brownie, but never say never. Of course, there's people that maybe underestimate him, but we do know Brownie has raced in many tiers in the top tier before, and he's shown that he can have some good pace. So don't write off any one of these drivers yet that are within that second mark. I mean, I don't write anyone up to P17 because there's still a massive train, as well as Top Tom is going to have a run against Brownie, then into straight into Brooklands. There he goes. Top Tom does an easy move up into fourth. His next challenge is to try and get back with this top three fight, and if he keeps up with his pace, maybe it's a chance that he could get onto the back of some idiot.
Indeed. So Brownie does fall down to P5. Top Tom is going to have to burn what he's kept reserved in that ERS battery to hopefully close that 1 second margin in. I want to have a quick look at the tyre situation. I've seen the prediction in the chat. is a prediction of who is going to win this race. Is it between Andy or is it between Ben? From the percentages, it's actually slightly favored in Ben. Ben is 78% real left, whereas Andy is 77% real left.
Ooh.
So it is actually looking slightly better for Ben. However, the outright pace is the thing that matters the most. We'll see now whether or not if it's going to make any difference. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When pit stops kick in, we'll see who can really benefit the most, because this is a really slow pit lane. Being British, of course, it means health and safety have gone crazy. So it's like, what is it, like a 31 mile per hour? Oh, Dylan's crashed. Dylan's crashed right off the track. We're going to get safety car. Safety car is out. That's the second of the race then. Now the decisions are going to start to come out. Who is boxing? What do you go for? Do you go hards here? If we know that there's going to be rain, if heavy rain 10 minutes before the end, then
I think it's a no-brainer for pitting.
You go mediums again?
No-brainer for pitting.
I didn't really do.
Well, I'm just going to do some maths here on how long these tires. So I'm just going to see. So in the 50% race, mediums last 19 laps. So that will be on the 100% race, 38 laps the mediums. So it depends on when the rain comes, to be honest. Hards, yeah. I've looked after doing the maths for hards. Hards can last 50, almost the whole race, 50 laps.
But see, the thing is that the hards are going to be considerably slower here, and I think the difference in terms of the pace between the mediums and the hards, I think the mediums are considerably faster than the hards, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
they
I'm
are.
not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the mediums are able to do obviously much faster lap times, but I think they're only slightly worse than the hards in terms of tire wear. So if the mediums, they may go mediums again, but if they're going to have to pit again regardless because of the rain. So take your mediums to the point of where the rain comes down, and then we'll go from there. Ben fakes the pit stop, and Samediat bit. He's in the pits. That is now a decision that has been made within Racing Point. The other Racing Point has decided to stay out. Samediat, the only one from the top 10 to go into the pits. I
don't know, because if the tyres do start to go, Samediat could be a strategy masterclass, but we'll see. No, surely not. Samediat's gone for the softs.
No.
I was hoping you'd go on the mediums. That is the wrong call, yeah. You would go on the mediums or the hards, but not the softs. That means you'll have to pit again. Does the Racing Point engineers think that the rain's going to come sooner? Oh, he said he can't go mediums. Apparently they don't have much mediums left, apparently. Interesting.
There should be at least 2 sets, right? Am I missing something here?
Yeah.
Oh, Yonti's got a 5-second penalty for colliding with Matteo. I'm
confused.
I'm so confused.
So you started on the mediums, so you can't pit onto another set of mediums? That is strange.
You started on the mediums, but I thought you get more than one set.
Yeah, you definitely get more than one set, surely.
So
He might have pressed harder. He must have pressed harder or something. I don't know. Because the only way that you don't have a set of mediums left is the harder option. But yeah, again, you still got at least one extra set. Oh, that I'm sorry, baffles. But
so no, he said he's got another set of mediums, but they can't go to the end of the mediums. But my point was
about the rain.
Surely the mediums will take you to the point where the rain comes, if there is going to be rain coming. Unless that was a big debate and there is actually no rain coming at all, which could be what happened.
Softs won't last until the end.
I think this is a mistake. I think this is a big mistake.
Well, when Borsetti said earlier, watch out for the strats. So if this works for some idiot, then this will be good. But if not, I'm a bit worried. But Copy's gone for the softs. So has Luca. Yonti's in as well. And so is if someone else is in as well. That is Matteo.
I think Beaker's made the right call here. Medium tires to go now.
Beaker could get points.
Beaker may finally get points.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say finally. He got points in the first race, but that's the only time he's had them. So we'll see now whether or not he's able to make this strategy call work. I'm praying that the mediums are the right call here. I mean, realistically, if the rain is coming, mediums from now to the point of where the rain comes, and then you're good. The only way this backfires massively is if the rain doesn't come either A, in time, or B, at all. Because if it doesn't come out at all,
you'll
then
have to pit
he's
one
done
more
for.
time.
He has to pit again, no matter what.
I think with the benefit of some idiot pitting as well, at least he's on different tyre compounds. If, like, the rain does not come, I literally don't know. But he could have gone on hards, though. I'm sure there was hard option as well. But
yeah, but
we're
you don't
not
want to go hards.
Yeah, we're not the strategists. They are. They have Jeff for a reason.
True.
We are commentators. We call the action. The Jeffs call the strategy. So, but this could be another great battle on our hands as well. And Matteo could be back in this fight as well if he catches up to the safety car. We're saying as well, a few other teams are gambling that are taking a gamble with staying on the mediums and thinking that the rain's going to come soon. I don't know. Like, I've seen it in many races that there's a slot at the end for rain, but sometimes it comes a lot sooner than we think. So we don't trust the game. They just have to go with a gamble. If that gamble does not pay off, then blame Cody's.
So the trick here now, especially for Beaker, more than anybody, is when you are in this situation, do not fight anybody who's on the soft compound tires. Let them go, because you need to stay within the train as much as you possibly can. You are on the slower compound overall, but it will come back to you later. So yes, obviously everybody in the top 8 are still on those mediums they started the race on. It's going to be natural that those soft runners are just going to start shooting at the field as a result of the compound difference. But at the same time, all Beacon needs to do is stay with the toe, stay in close, manage his ERS, because he's been somebody I've accused on plenty of occasions where he's burnt his ERS far too much. I think the rain will be, if it's coming 10 minutes before the end, we're looking at around about lap 46, 47 sort of territory. But bear in mind, it says at 10 minutes from the end, it will already be heavy rain. So maybe the softs are already going to be good enough because the rain might come that bit earlier.
This could work in some idiot's
favour. Maybe we'll see it like lap 38. Yeah, exactly. This maybe Dave. It's for me. It's either Savini's going to suddenly shoot up the field, or Beaker's going to suddenly shoot up the field. I just can't tell you which one.
Yeah, so watch out for the battle between these two, who has timed it right as well. But my question is, why is the top 8 not gambled and pitted?
I think they don't want to break the strategy effectively, because they don't want to go to another set of mediums, despite the fact that I think that's the right call to do. I think they're just worried that the rain's not going to come at all.
Yeah.
I don't see why. If the weather report says it's going to rain, it's going to rain.
Yeah, but we have seen it that it will come. Like, I've seen, I think it was in Hungary, I think it was, where, no, it was France. I was racing in France. The rain come right at the end, like 5 minutes before the end. There was no point in us pitting. The rain didn't come down hard enough, so we had to stay on dries. But then once it got into territory, it was like 1 lap before the end. So it was very tricky for us to stay on the track. So I don't know what situation I would do, but it makes it for more close racing, which is what I like. So, you know, who is going to be the one that benefits? We don't know. Is it going to be Beaker? Is it going to be some idiot? Is it going to be the ones that stayed out? And I thought, I on my screen, I thought Tom went off, but he just got back on the track again. So that's good. Is the safety car in?
Yep, it's go time. We're about to go again then. It's now Andy who's going to be leading us away. Ben's still sat P2, of course. And now he will actually be in a more interesting position as Andy's gone. There we go. Has Ben been caught out? A little bit, actually. Quite a fair bit, actually. Big mistake there as well. Going through the corner. Top Tom's already fired up. He's trying to get onto the back of the AlphaTauri. This is Top Tom's chance to regain the places that he lost earlier, trying to get past Ben. Is he going to go for a big boy yeet? He decides against it. That's quite smart, I think. Obviously, no DRS now for another 2 laps, the end of this, and 1 more. And that is going to be a go time for Top Tom. But he needs to hurry up, because look, Andy's already pulled a 9/10 gap. It's almost a full second. Top Tom cannot get stuck behind Ben if he wants to have a chance at getting Andy's position.
We got some more battles happening in the midfield as well. We got Rennie on the back of Brownie as well, going side by side into Luffield and heading towards Woodcote, but he can't get the move done as well, as Matteo can't make the ground that he needs to get past Dennis as well. Beaker stays in 10th position. We've got a chasing Copy that wants to get past Beaker ASAP. Let's see if Copy could do that. Past Cop. Well, you can't do it past Cop because it's very hard to do it, but we've seen people go for moves there, and it's very, very risky indeed. And yet Andy's just running his own race at the moment with one of the best safety car restarts of the race so far. He's done it before. That's, I think, the difference between Ben's restart and Andy's restart. Andy's used to controlling the pack, whereas we've got a battle near the midfield with I think the Alfa Romeo and I have to say Jesper's doing very, very well on Beaker. Side by side, Copy could go back. They're touching wheels. Copy touched Jesper a little bit. Galvavan saying thank you very much. There's position gain there as well. Top Tom's right in the back of Ben now as well. There's just so much battling happening in the space of one lap. Anything can happen as well. And I think when it gets to the RS territory, Top Tom is going to be absolutely flying. Let's hope Top Tom does not make the same mistakes he'd done a few laps ago, because that'll be absolutely nightmare for him as well. But looks like Ben's not challenging Top Tom there. He knows that, maybe he is. Maybe he is going into Luffield, but I'm guessing Top Tom's more consistent on pace. And his tyres, I think, maybe a lot better condition as well. Top Tom is up to second, and now his focus is to try and catch up to Andy now.
Yeah, he really needs to get this done then. So, whilst that was going on, Dennis did have an issue. I think there was contact between him and Shortway, which actually put him down into P17. 5 laps in on those mediums. They're not going to be looking good then for him. I also want to keep an eye on Samidia because he's got his teammate ahead of him. This is going to be the coordination we're going to see from them. They're going to work together to try and help get Samidia as far up the field as possible. Makes sense here. Yeah, look at that. He's just giving him so much room for him to go through. No ERS going to be utilized from Yenab, but now Yenab is fully reliant on Samidia pulling Yenab along with him to try and close back into Hweni and also maybe even get Brownie in a bit further forward. So we'll see now if this does work out for him. Samidia has been going full send, and this is what I want to see. All the beans from Samidia, and now DRS being enabled as well. This is where we're going to really see what these soft tires can do. 5-second penalty for Mateo, speeding in the pit lane.
And Copy's out of the race.
Yeah, Copy retires.
I'm guessing he's given up, which is a shame. Mr. Consistent is no longer Mr. Consistent. Meanwhile, Luca and Beaker are going for a move here. This is the soft tyres versus the medium tyres. This is not what Beaker wants, as Beaker's trying to chase the guy that's on fresher, soft tyres, and this is going to be meat if Beaker does not get the move done, as we wait and see. Beaker's losing a lot of ground now. This is really going to hinder him, to be honest. So, a shame for Beaker, but bravo for Luca for holding him up as well. The top three staying as they are at the moment, but things could change, as when he's still on the back of ground, when he could still be in this podium fight too, and some idiot's on a charge. Here he comes on the back of Rennie. He won't get Andy, I don't think, but I think he could get the others.
Yeah, the rain coming means that literally anybody can win this race. The incident between Beaker and Jesper on lap 21 is under investigation. I assume Copy's going to be to an extent dragged into that. Some idiot flies past Wenny. Wow, that was absolutely sublime. There was no stopping him there from Wenny, and somebody is absolutely on a mission right now. Maybe the soft strategy call was the right one, and I think Beaker played the restart terribly, to be honest. He just fired up all of his ERS. He was on a single percentage when Luca went for that pass on him. And ultimately, that just cost him. It didn't benefit him at all. He couldn't stay with the others ahead of him. So, yeah, maybe these soft tyres were the right call. And some idiot being in P5 right now could actually reap the benefits of this, especially... the thing is, we won't know for certain until the rain comes. When the rain eventually gets here, and when it falls enough for the tyres to no longer be the relevant tyre, that's when we'll know whether or not the soft tyres did benefit Samidia enough or the mediums were the right tyre to go on. But Samidia on full charge right now. This is fantastic to see.
It'll be interesting to see the tyres, I think, from Samidia, the condition when it gets to the point where it starts to cool down, because when it starts to rain, if the tyres are good enough, the softs are potentially the best time to be on. It can last, I think, pretty much the first third of the race. Pretty much 28 laps or so, I would say. But again, after lap 20, the tyres start to go bleh. So it's a bit of a danger there for some idiot, but at least he's taking a gamble, and he's right on the back of Brownie as well. And I have to say, all this battling up front is allowing Andy to just pull away just a little bit more. But here comes, I would say, Yonti on the back of Beaker. Dives it around the right-hand side into Stowe, but Beaker's holding on. He's having a good run heading into Vale now. Braking just after the 50-metre board, or 75-metre board, as I would say. But Beaker's starting to realise that if he does not defend, he's going to be in huge trouble. If I was him, I would probably let out of the way, as Beaker somehow has already selected intermediates, according to the pit window. But that's a good tactic to have if you know that the mediums will last quite a bit. I don't blame you. You don't have to change it before you go into the pits, and you won't lose significant time by doing that.
Well, I've actually been informed by the stewards that Beaker's been given a 5-second penalty for the contact that he had between him and Jesper. I think, that's probably pretty fair, to be honest. It was a bit of a hard send then from Beaker. And he's going to be dealt a pretty huge blow. Copy felt the pain for it more than anybody. Beaker feeling a bit of pain, obviously. We'll see now. But now, Samidia closed it in on Brownie. This is going to be an interesting scrap no matter what. Matteo getting himself a new fastest lap on his name. 127.808, so starting to find some pace. But I feel like it's a bit too late because
And he's got a penalty! And he's got a penalty!
That's huge, especially with the way that the strategy is going to be called out soon. We are about the halfway through the race, so if that's the sign that he's starting to make mistakes and starting to get penalized for it,
Top
then
can win.
Top could still take this win. My prediction may still happen.
Literally anyone in the top 7 could win this, Ben.
Yep, indeed. Rightio then. Let's see whether or not some idiot can start to... I mean, look how dark it's gone now. The sun's just been put behind the clouds. Some idiot is really going to need to put the foot down if he wants to make this strategy call work, because I think he's still net down a position overall. I could be wrong. I think when he came into the pits, he was P4. Obviously, now he's P5, so he needs to at least get Brownie by the time the rain falls, so he has to give it absolutely maximum send if he wants to really pull these softs off.
Yeah, he's got to be honest, because if it's going to be a worry that we're going to see a similar sort of situation to what we've seen with the likes of Yonti and Luca maybe getting held up with medium runners. But, some idiots a lot faster, and we could see him probably go for a launch right about now, but you can't do it through cops. There's not much space, but I'm almost certain he's going to get Brownie very, very soon, and all that is allowing, obviously, Andy to increase the gap a little bit more. I believe it's 3 seconds he got, Andy. So even if these guys keep battling, it won't matter. So I think Andy's going to hope that these guys keep battling. So here comes some idiot then, past the hanger straight into Stowe. This may not be the launch he's looking. No, he's not getting past. I think the dirty air is probably coming to fruition, I think, for some idiot, and he's not wanting to launch the attack as of yet because it may be the tyres, maybe overheating a little bit more as well. Meanwhile, Yenab and Luca going side by side into the final corner. This could be Luca's chance to get P7. Luca's got a penalty too, but Yenab, that almost gave me a heart attack there. He was weaving all over the place. I
think it's either a sign of frustration or a sign of happiness. I doubt it's happiness, though, when he's just been overtaken. Samidia didn't get the exit he needed onto the hanger straight because he actually went a bit too wide on the exit, and that caused him to just clip the grass a little bit and lose a little bit of momentum. But he's going now, though. This is the one he needed. Finally, he's gaining something out of this. The strategy has paid off in the end, and even if it's just more that he's having a good time of it, the sun is actually just fighting through the clouds a little bit more, so there is still a bit of more dry racing to be seen. I was told around about 4 or 5 minutes ago that the rain was expected in 15 minutes, although Dave wasn't of the opinion. He thinks it's going to be sooner than that, so we'll see. The sun is struggling to fight, but the clouds don't look like they're coming that quickly.
There's some moments at the circuit where it's very sunny, some moments at the circuit where it's clouding over, so it's impossible to tell, I have to say, but I do see some dark clouds coming, so just watch out. And it's going to be in about 10 laps or so time where the mediums are not going to be the best tyre, and they're going to hope the rain's going to come before they pit, because otherwise the people like somebody, Luca, Yonti, the ones who've already pitted, they could benefit from this, and we can see a completely different winner as Luca gets past, as when he decides to call it a day and goes into the pits for maybe another set, maybe Softs. Softs can make it to
why?
I don't...
Why would you box now? The rain is coming.
I know, that's a bit of a gamble.
It's just wrong.
I know, he's lost so much time now, and it could be the chance for win gone, but you never know. Like in true British style fashion, there could be another safety car that could happen, but we don't know. The gap between Andy and Top Tom is all in Top Tom's favour now, and I have to say, Top Tom is definitely one of the favourites to win unless some idiot could get past Ben. He got past Brownie. I think it's going to be easy pickings for some idiot, and it could be a three-way fight for the win, but whatever's going on outside of that is going to be anyone's guess at the moment. The top five are not, well, apart from Top Tom's spin, they hardly made any mistakes so far, the top five. They're doing absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Somebody obviously is really pushing. I think we do keep underestimating just how good Ben is doing. He's doing a fantastic job to be holding on to P3 still this far into... I thought he'd be at least P6 by now in this race. Yes, I know that's horrible, it sounds like, but I'm glad that he's proving us wrong. He is the underdog in this situation. He's delivering as it stands, and if he can continue with this performance, there's a chance he might still jump Andy based on that penalty that he's got against his name, but he needs the rain to fall very quickly. And I am looking at the sky, I am seeing the clouds starting to move over quite quickly, and I am aware of British weather and how it can change at the drop of a hat, so yeah, do not expect it to stay dry. Luke has gone for a send here on Brownie. This is a bit of a gamble. He goes for a bit of a yeet. There is contact between them. Forces Brownie off the circuit. Big mistakes there from him. I think a bit of lag helped contribute to that as well. And Brownie will be pretty upset, to say the least, that happened. They lose a lot of time to this top four. And when the pit stops do occur, that could make a big difference.
It looks like Top Tom's struggling a little bit because the guys around him, they're not that far behind him. I don't know. It may be that the guys behind are managing their tyres better. Obviously, some idiot his tyres are fresher and softer. But, you know, Ben's under 1 second behind Top Tom. He's winning DRS range. So I'm starting to realise that maybe Top Tom may be pushing a little bit too much early on. But maybe that spin earlier on might have cost him on his tyre life. But never say never with Top Tom. And here comes some idiot on Ben. Oh. But this time he can't get... I think it's going to be next lap like he did with the likes of Brownie and the likes of Luca. He's going to go for the movement to Vale. He's committing. Ben's got to defend, and he does. But I think somebody could get a better run in the final corner, which he does not. Is Ben really defending for his life here? Yes, he is. Oh, my God. This is amazing, I have to say. He's definitely one of the contenders for Drive of the Day because we weren't... like we said, we weren't expecting him to stay in the podium slot. I would have said top 6 as well, to be honest, but he's if he can keep this up throughout the whole season, that would be amazing. But there's some tracks he likes, some tracks he hates, but this is, I think, he's starting to show why he really deserves to be in the Rwagnation League. He qualified for a reason, and he's showing that he can definitely fight for the best of the best. If he could do this now, imagine what he'll be like in like a couple of years' time, where he improves every year. He's already old enough to be in F1 esports anyway. He's not quite at the pace yet, but maybe in a year's time or two, he could be up there.
Well, I mean, if you base from last week to this week on performances, you'd say that if it's down to him actually putting practice in and getting good, then, you know, at that rate of growth, yeah, easy slaps, he could do that. Top Tom getting a penalty. I don't want to jinx it. But Ben could genuinely win this race if he manages the gaps. I've been told the incident between Luca and Brownie on lap 29 is under investigation. Bear that in mind. That was Luca forcing Brownie off the circuit. Wouldn't be surprised if a penalty does end up coming out as a result of that, to be truthfully honest. It does look like it was pretty aggressive.
Yenab almost had the move on Brownie. Sorry to cut you off, but he just couldn't quite do it. But, yeah, but I'm a bit surprised some idiot is not getting past Ben right now. I'm really surprised. Like, he's a man.
But not just that. I'm surprised that Ben is actually ready to attack Top Tom. Like, Top Tom, they're all on the same tyres, right? The top three. They've all been on 30-lap old mediums. They're still committing as they are. Top Tom, who's 12 laps in... Sorry, not Top Tom. Samidi, who's 12 laps in on his softs, isn't actually able to get past these guys. Yeah, granted, okay, fair play. Probably Ben's getting that toe and he's getting that DRS, which is helping him as well. But so is some idiot. It's not like he's losing out on this. He just doesn't have that pace right now. Or he's biding his time. It doesn't make sense to me to bide the time, though. You are on the grippier tyre. You've got more power in that grip. Use it. That's what he's doing now. I don't want to do it in cops, though. You need to keep Ben within the DRS range of Top Tom, which is exactly what Samidi is doing. Very good heads up from him there. Yellow flag sector 1. That is in fact Dennis, who's had a bit of a spinala. Don't think we're going to be seeing any safety car as a result of that, unless he has a real bad problem rejoining the circuit. But now, this is where Samidi has to go. He cannot sit behind now. He has to deploy every single percentage that he's got in that battery. He's using it, but he's decided to turn it off, and this is the problem. All Samidi is doing here is hindering his race. He has to get past them to make it worthwhile, be the first person in the box, benefit from that undercut, if you like, and start capitalizing when the wet weather comes.
I think Samidi the only way that Samidi is going to win this race now if he could get past Ben and catch up to Top Tom's penalties, because all this battling is allowing Andy and Top Tom to not worry about the penalties. I mean, the more they keep battling, the more that the 3 seconds is going to be none and void, to be honest, as well. But it's going to be a point. Can we see the tyres actually for the top 3? Because I'm still blown away of how Top Tom's tyres is struggling, whereas Ben is still managing to keep up with it, and somebody is not getting past either. And Top Tom's managing to catch up to Andy though, still. So at least Top Tom Top Tom's still fighting Andy on track. Technically, because they both got same penalties, but update on pens. So
tyre situation. Andy 56% as his lowest. Top Tom 57% as his lowest. Ben 55% as his lowest, and Samidia 71% as his lowest. So he should be feeling absolutely like a cruise missile, and he sees now how important it is to get some move on. That's why he's deploying so much ERS, already lining up Ben as much as he can, but Ben is also using the same amount of ERS because he knows that somebody is going to be coming for him. Very well read there from Ben. He saw that opportunity, realized that somebody could actually get me here, and decides against going full send. Andy seems to be losing pace. Top Tom closing into 1.7 seconds. Ben is currently your net leader when it comes to penalties.
Wow.
But, and this is the biggest but, and I cannot lie, when the rain hits the deck, the track becomes greasy. That's when we'll see who is the best racer out of these guys here.
I don't know who's the best out of the wet conditions. I didn't see qualifying in terms of that, but most of these drivers had a chance of that yesterday, apart from Ben, obviously. So, probably Ben's going to be at a disadvantage, but I have seen how good he is in the wet. I can't compare it to other people's paces on the grid, so I can't make a judgment on will he outperform everybody, because I don't know. I don't have a clue. Luca's still winning a shot as well of gaining good positions as well, but Brownie, I think Luca's not just on 3 seconds, right? He can still get P5 out on this, right?
Still a check. Bounces. No, Luca's on 9.
Oh, scrap that. He's going to drop way down, but...
yeah, he's going to hit the deck.
Yeah, the clouds. I think the ones on the mediums, they just got... The track is cooling anyway, so that's probably why that the tyre wear is still relatively okay. And that's what's helping them. Because I thought it was going to last like 40 laps, the mediums. It's going to probably last a bit longer than that. We still got I'm worried about Samir is tired. It's literally going to fall off the cliff soon if he does not get the move. Same with Luca too. I mean...
Yeah. I mean, 67% on Samidia's tyres now are the lowest that he's currently sitting on. To be honest, I don't think he's going to need to worry about the tyre wear. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. It's more the fact now, everybody's staring at their halos. All the race engineers are looking at the drivers' onboards and going, please, please, please make sure I'm the first one to read when the rain is coming, because if I can, we can react quicker, we can get the decision made. If you miss the lap to come in and pit, that's going to be the make and break. You have to get the timing just right, and now Samidia all over the back of Ben. Ben still continuing as he has been, still driving as good as he has been, and needs to continue in this manner because right now, like I said, he's net race leader. He's net race winner if he can stay like this throughout the remainder of the race. But now it's going to become the hardest test he's had so far this Grand Prix. When that rain falls, if he miscalculates even slightly on either the throttle or the braking, he will be finding himself buried off in the gravel. Mistake made there from Smitty. It means that he's going to struggle to close in quicker. Although, is he? Because Ben is getting closed in so quickly. Ben's going to have to go defensive. He has to cover the exit as well. Very well read there from Ben to defend quite nicely. I think Smitty's going to try and still stick it through. He's looking to the inside, has to back out once more. Ben again with the masterclass defensive maneuvers. That was fantastic to see. I don't know if this is Ben's driving or if this is Nicholas just talking in his ear, like, watch out for this, watch out for that. But Ben is absolutely killing it right now.
It could be a bit of both, to be honest. I think Ben's definitely benefiting from an esports driver who's actually won here in F1 esports. Nicholas Longe knew about the pressure that he faced in as well, with like the likes of Danny Moreno on the back of him as well. Like, I think this is what's helping Ben right now. He's known what Nicholas has gone through in the past, and he's applying it to his own racing. And I have to say, I think the only way that his race is going to be over is if he bottles it in the rain, which I hope he does not happen. I would like to see, as much as I want to see the likes of Top Tom and Andy do well, maybe somebody get his first win, it'll just be nice to see someone you do not expect win the race. And think about it. Yeah. Ben's in the AlphaTauri. The one that we weren't expected to win last season in real life, Pierre Gasly, won the race in an AlphaTauri in Monza.
Exactly. So track temp hasn't dropped. There are no rain droplets on any of the halos just yet. This is going to stay as it is for now. Nobody's going to be diving into the pits, but again, it's making sure that you don't make any mistakes here. This has to be absolutely perfect from all of the drivers if they want to try and capitalize and get on it. I think I just saw a spot. I'm seeing spots of rain.
Rain in the halo. I'm seeing rain in the halo.
On the halo.
I'm seeing rain on the halo. I can see it
here on the screen as well. This is definitely, rain is definitely starting to fall now. So we're going to start seeing the track start to get very slippy. But on top of that, now is where it's going to be the do or die decisions. Some drivers will make massive gains from this, and some of them may lose out quite drastically. My worry, my main concern, my person to be focused on is Ben. This guy, I've become a stan. I'm standing for Ben.
So if you would put, so you're now standing Ben more than Top Top right now.
Yeah, I am.
Top Tom's gonna hate you.
Well, he's got two reasons that somebody actually I need to just focus on somebody because he's actually closing in quite nicely, and the rain is actually picking up quite hard here. There might be pits this lap. I think people may actually dive in if the heavy rain is coming. Then you're going to want to get in now. And I think realistically, intermediate tires straight off the bat.
It's slippery.
Knowing that heavy rain is coming, it's already getting to be a problem. Ben made a bit of a mistake there. Somebody can see it. This is going to be important. This is going to be crucial when it comes to these pit stops. Ben's already turned his ERS off. He's having to go defensive. Here comes somebody around the outside through snow. Surely he's not going to stick this through. He cannot. There's just no grip there. Who's coming into the pits? It's not Andy. It's not Tom. It's not Ben. It's not Samidia. Nobody has decided to pit this lap. Well, at least not in the top 5. We'll see if anybody outside of that. Yenab is also not pitting.
Oh, my game's crashed.
Yours has?
Yeah, my game's crashed. Give me a second.
Do you have an invite or do you need one?
I think I have a spare invite. Let me see. Okay. I'll have a look anyway. But if you can send me a backup one, that'll be great. Oh. It's always when it's dry to wet. It's always dry to wet. Who's in?
Assassin is just Span. Made a mistake coming through the final corner. He's actually fallen down to P12 now, so already mistakes are starting to be made. Let me quickly send you an invite real quick, Jess.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, it's a shame Assassin made that mistake, to be honest. I'm looking on the stream now.
Oh, no, we missed it. Somebody managed to get on Ben. Ben is actually now down into P4. Somebody is up to P3. And already Luca's trying to get onto Ben as well. This is going to be a squeeze from Ben. Pushing Luca to the very edge. And Ben's going to try and stick it down the inside of the Cobb's corner. This is surely not going to end well for one of them. But no, they both make it. But somebody has run very low in ERS. And so has Ben. Ben is struggling now to stay with these guys. The track is very, very damp. Surely they're going to box this lap. There's no way they stay out this late. Beaker with another time penalty across his name because of track limits is not ideal for him. Yonte is trying to close in on Danico, but it's not quite working out for him. Is Andy coming in? No, Top Tom isn't either. Neither is Samidia. Luca is coming in. He's going to be the first one to blink. Ben is not. So now Ben is in real trouble because he's decided to stay out on the track, but he's outside of DRS. If I was Ben, I'd be taking the gamble personally. maybe he knows something we don't. Yenab getting speeding in the pit lane penalty. 5 seconds for him. And Luca, the first one in, onto the intermediate tyres.
This could work wonders. And I'm in the session. Good news as well. I'm good. I missed that battle. Ah, stupid game.
It looked like it was pretty easy, though. It didn't look like there was any real squabbling. I think it was more Ben would have just lost it.
Yeah, I think the main reason is the softs are a lot better in these conditions. Why are these guys did not pit? This could be the ones who have pitted. This could give them a huge advantage. We could see maybe Yenab winning this race. I don't know who's going to win this race now.
If DRS gets to say, oh no, Ben! Oh
my God, Ben, you panicked me. Stop
Don't do
panicking
this to me, Ben.
Don't.
If the DRS gets disabled around about now, it could actually benefit Luca.
But Luca's got penalties. Oh, Yenab's got penalties now.
Yeah, he got 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, that's annoying. That's ended his penalty-free run. No.
Yeah, that's his first one. I mean, apparently he went 60 hours.
Disabled. This is good for Luca and Yenab and all that.
But now we got to make sure these guys get into the pit lane quite quickly, and smoothly. No slipping into the pit lane. You cannot afford to get a speeding penalty, and that's exactly what Andy gets. A big 5-second penalty to his name. That is less than ideal. Ben's coming into the pits. Has he managed to get in cleanly? Yes, he has. Oh, my word. Andy has a huge penalty against him. That is really not good for him. Let me quickly send you one more.
I literally don't know what's going on with this game. I think I've seen other people have an issue as well, where it's when it's dry to wet, it just goes, no thank you. It may be down to my graphics card, but I don't know. But don't forget, the pit loss is around about 30 seconds, I think. 30.833 seconds. So this could be...
Well, here's Luca.
Here comes Luca then.
Yeah, watch Luca as he comes through. He's past Samidia and Ben, so he's getting 2 positions out of it. Really,
but he's got the 9 seconds. He's got the 9 seconds of penalties, whereas Ben and I believe Samidia has none either.
Ben has none. Yep, Samidia has none. They're actually one of the very few people on the track that actually don't have any penalties against him. I mean, Yenab will probably get his removed because, like I say, it was a 60 out of 60 mile an hour entry into the pit lane apparently, but it will need Stewart's intervention to remove it as long as he doesn't serve it. So if the track does get to a point where heavy rain is about and then we need to go to wet, then unfortunately Yenab will not be able to get the penalty removed.
Yeah, which is a shame, but sometimes you get races like that. So, but I do hope that penalty gets... I hope it's like this for the whole race because I want Yenab to get that penalty removed and I want him to be penalty free. Just please. He's done so well to keep it penalty free throughout the whole season, and for him to get ruined like that, it's and it's 5 seconds as well. So this is annoying, but I'm just looking at. I need to look at the gaps actually to the penalties to see who I think could win this race due to it. But the Devils are not fixing itself.
Samidia right now.
Samidia, then Andy. Andy 11. Oh, Andy!
Yeah, Andy adding an additional 3 to his name. This is really not going well for him. He was looking so good, and one thing we've always critiqued him on is his penalty situation, and he's not been able to keep it clean enough. Ben now starting to really struggle in these wet conditions, having a bit of a wobble coming through that final corner. Did not help him at all there. And now, Yenab walking closer and closer to the back of Ben. 5 seconds is the gap. If the rain hadn't come and Ben actually continued in the fashion he was already doing in those dry conditions, I genuinely believe Ben would have won this race.
Dennis got a penalty.
Because of the rain, Samidia is actually looking like he might take this big old dubski, as long as, and this is the crucial bit, he needs to be within 3 seconds of Top Tom if he wants to have a chance of beating him there.
Ooh, that's going to be tough. The gap is between Top Tom and Samidia. I think he's 5.3 is between the gap between Andy and Samidia. He needs to find 0.5 per second, Samidia, and then he's won. So Top Tom needs to push. If Top Tom pushes, Top Tom could win.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. When you start pushing, especially in these conditions, it's so much easier to make those mistakes and get penalties like Yonti's just done now, for example. and you could actually find yourself getting further out of the podium as you can. So you've got to be calculated in your retaliation in this situation. But I agree with you. Tom absolutely has to give it the full beans if he wants to have a shot at taking that race win. He needs to cover off, which he's currently got covered off to some idiot, that penalty. And then it's all down to him. But some idiot not one to really crack under these sort of situations. I think some idiot may actually still get this dub ski.
I think he will. I had faith he was going to get the podium today. He said he wasn't. Come on, if he doesn't say, "Oh, I'm going to get the win next week," then I'm gonna say nope. No, I'm gonna say nope until he says, "Oh, I'm going to win," because this could. I think if he wins this, let's wait to his reaction because he's going to be on cloud 9. I believe his girlfriend's watching this as well.
Yeah, she is.
So, honestly, the screens from the top the Some Idiot household is just going to be next to none. I mean, oh my goodness. We could see another different. So who's won so far this season? So we had Yenab.
Some idiot. He won the second race.
No, did he?
No, he's not won yet. Wait. We went to Canada, Austria. Yeah, he won Austria, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? I can't remember. Because someone... this is very hard.
I've slept since then.
Yeah, we've done so many races, it's hard to tell.
I'll find out. Wait right there. I'll find out. You continue. I will find out.
Yeah, I think Some Idiot has won, but we could see a different winner here in Silverstone. It could be Tom's home Grand Prix win, which is we all like to see someone winning their home Grand Prix. Remember when Lewis Hamilton won in these treacherous conditions back in 2008? I think it was like almost a lap ahead of everybody. We could see Tom not go to that extreme, but if he keeps that performance, that will be insane for him as Brownie's extending cops still, it looks like, but he's still keeping penalty free, so at least he's doing something right, extending one bit of the track, which is helping him gain positions. And has Some Idiot won a race or not? Yes or no?
Yes, won Austria.
Yeah, I thought so.
So winners so far have been
Yenab,
so
Some
first ball
Idiot.
In Canada was Yenab. Yep, Some Idiot.
And
second.
Andy, right?
Andy in third, yeah.
So we could have a fourth different winner. Come on.
Could be pretty good if we did. Yeah, in terms of the Brownie extending into Stowe, Cops, sorry, not Stowe, Cops, then if it's reported into the race control, the stewards will investigate it and confirm whether or not it is breaching anything. But if moaning about it in Twitch chat will solve nothing. All right?
As long as you report it, they won't look at it unless you report it.
Some idiot is actually having
no.
He's dropping pace. The pace is not working for him.
No, Some Idiot, no.
He's currently 5 and a bit almost 5 seconds away from Top Tom as it sits. So Top Tom, but again, this is the problem that Top Tom's got now is that whilst he is pushing as hard as he is and doing a good job doing it, he is putting himself at risk of getting another penalty. I genuinely thought that was it. When I saw Dennis's name pop up there, I thought that was it, but no.
He can't. Some Idiot cannot get a penalty. I'm going to check warnings at the moment because I can actually see it. So Andy obviously has the 5-second penalty plus another few penalties. Top Tom has, how many warnings has he had after that penalty? He just has one. So he has 1 penalty and 1 warning. Luca, I don't want to talk about Luca. Scrap him. Because he's like Some Idiot. No warnings. No warnings from Some Idiot. And we got Ben who's got 2. There we go then.
Yeah, let's pray that this can be pulled back together for Some Idiot. Again, keeping it penalty free is fantastic. That's exactly what you need, especially warning free is even better. But you need to manage that gap to the drivers ahead of you, otherwise it's all for nothing. So he needs to still give it the full beans if he wants to close in onto Top Tom. Again, that penalty gap is hovering at 4.7 is around about the average. Beaker gone very far off there. Dennis has retired. He's gone into the pit lane and had enough.
Oh, what a shame. But it's the hopes now on the Alfa Romeo camp rest on Beaker, who could be in for a sensational result. He could be in for good points, actually. The only person he needs to worry about is Brownie. I would have to say. And maybe Yenag's obviously the penalty. So, Beaker, I think, will be 8th, I believe.
Oh, sorry, it's just Dennis's car. We're okay.
Yeah.
I saw you off like sector 1 and the car not moving, and I forgot that Dennis had just retired, so we're all right. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Beaker getting P7 would actually be the best result he's had so far this season. But like you say, the penalty, and then he's also got the 5-second penalty from the steward start on top of that as well. Will probably mean he will fall to P10. Yes, he'll still get a point, but more than likely he will still fall right down. Dennis's car very much off the track there, which is good. Won't impede anybody at all. Somebody has lost more time to Top Tom. 3.4 between Luca and Top Tom, and then 1.8 between Luca and Samidia. So yeah, it would need at least one more penalty from Top Tom in order for Samidia to be within the penalty range, but he needs to properly stay focused here if he wants to take that race win effectively.
Yeah, some of these guys, I think, need to push if they want to gain some positions out of the ones who do have penalties, because otherwise, having no penalty could be worthless, to be honest, as well. There's only 3 or 4 drivers that get to score penalties at the moment. One is Jesper in 14th, one is Brownie in 8th, one is Ben in 5th, and one is somebody in 4th place. I think Jesper can't gain much from Wenny's penalties. Brownie could gain from Beaker and Yenab, definitely. Luca's going to gain from... No, somebody's going to gain from pretty much Luca at the moment. And maybe Andy, but not Top Tom as it stands.
Yenab is closing in on Ben, but does have a penalty. Remember, it is a 5-second stop go that he would be serving at the end of the race or in the pit lane if he does end up going into the pits once more. I don't think Yenab will go to the pits because he'll want to get that penalty removed, even if it gets to a point where we're going to see ourselves needing to move to the wet compound tyres. I mean, the dry line is still very much there, so it's okay for now, but I also want to just touch on Andy. So Andy has actually got 11-second penalties to his name. Ben is outside of that penalty range by about 2 seconds, so he needs to sort of rein that in a little bit. But then again, if Andy gets another 3-second penalty, suddenly Ben squids in. Yeah, he might not get... actually, how far off of Luca is he? Let's have a look at that. Luca has 9 seconds. He's definitely got that one covered, but only by about a second. So if he can manage this, Ben could get himself on the podium. We might be having a chat with him at the end of this race.
Ben, stop jinxing Ben.
I want him to do it. I would love... Oh, Brownie went right off the track there.
I think unless people make a mistake, I think the top 5 is pretty much settled, as Brownie almost had a bit of a slide again. Brownie seems to be struggling in these conditions, and maybe some of these guys are saving it to the last minute, because I think Ben's been told by Mr. Longay himself that he needs to push, as Brownie gets to move past Yonti up to 8th, and it won't mean anything because Yonti has a penalty, but he wants to get the move on track at least, and the more that he does now, the more that it can help him towards the end when we head to next week. The more points you get, the better. And this could be crunched. I think I am starting to see standing waters. Brownie picks up a penalty.
Yeah. 3-second penalty. It's the saddest of situations for him, but that does put him in a position where now he's got the 3-second gap he needs to manage between him and Beaker. He needs to stay within 3 seconds of Beaker, whereas it was comfortable before. It's no longer the case. Danico, who's behind in P10, is matching on penalties, so they really need to commit. We'll see how that goes on. But we have been told that heavy rain will be for the remaining 10 minutes of the race. Whether or not that means that we have to go onto the wet compound tyres is a whole different story altogether. I'm looking at the line. The line still looks relatively clear of standing water. I don't think we're in a position where we have to worry about that for now. But some idiot. 5.8 seconds is the gap between him and Top Tom. There's going to need to be a penalty for Top Tom if somebody is going to take this win.
I think Tom must be praying to the rain gods right now, because Top Tom is flying on between him and the other guys as well. So, we could actually speak to him again, but this time he'll be comfortable with the race win, not uncertain. So, as in podium wise, that because we were, it's pretty much Oh, I don't know, because if people starting to struggle, we still don't know what could happen. People could make a mistake. That's the whole beauty of it as well. And there's been people that are been so close to getting a podium and they're just not working. I have to say, I am liking Some Idiot's helmet this week. It's really nice. I thought it was a Britain-style helmet, but it turns out it's not. But anyway, Some Idiot. He's got in with that 1 second range of Luca. This is crucial now. He's going to get ahead of Luca anyway. So it's going to be, I think, Top Tom, Some Idiot, and I don't know who's going to get P3. I think Andy will probably pip it. Will probably pip Luca.
Well, let's just check the gap to lead and also the penalties. Yeah, so Ben's actually dropping pace now. He's actually not been able to keep up with what the boys are doing ahead of him. 15.3 seconds is the gap to leader for Ben to Andy. And only 11-second penalty. I say only, still 11 seconds for Andy to Ben. So
yeah,
realistically, Ben is finishing P.
He'll still be happy with that. He'll still be happy with P4 or 5, won't he? Like,
yeah.
He'll still be happy with that because he probably was not expecting to get the win.
Oh, Yonti!
Yonti, no!
Yonti's had a big damage. That wing is in a really bad way. He's missing end plates on both wings, and he's had just about a safe rejoin. I don't even. That's maggots going into Becker's. I don't know how he's lost it there.
How did he do that?
Just had the back end or too much. Well done.
No traction, don't forget, on these cars, because it's no assist apart from line only, is that right? Corners only? So
yes, yeah.
So, yeah. No traction in rain does not mix. You can tell Yonti's going very, very slowly right now, so it's going to be a tough call. So, I think what Ben is doing right now, he's not bothered, I think, about getting positions up front. I think his main goal is to keep Yana behind him, just in case the 5-second penalty gets removed, and anything more than that is a bonus. I think that's what the team are going to hope for him right now. So it's a shame that his teammate is not getting any points today, but to be honest, I think it's what could have been for Matteo, but at least he's still finishing, which is great to see. And Galvan still could actually no, Galvan won't get a point, because he's on 9 seconds. Galbavand.
Unfortunate. I mean, he's... Yeah, it could have been points to Renault had he kept that under control, but unfortunately it is not going to be the case, and he will be falling down the order. I believe that Brownie had contact with Yonsi, from what I'm seeing in the chat. I've not seen the clip myself, so I don't know, but...
It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, keep an eye on Some Idiot then, because he's got the 1 second gap to Luca, which means the toe will start to be effective very soon. And he's going to need to use that to try and help bring himself close enough in case Top Tom does get another penalty. He might be able to then close in within time.
It's going to be too late for 4 wets. It's going to be too late to pit. You're going to lose so much time. If the race was going on for longer, then box, definitely. But you'll lose much more time if you do pit now. So they're just going to have to make the most of the inters. And if people start struggling, then that's going to probably help the guys up front a little bit more, keep the penalties at bay. I think Luca could get P4, I think, due to the gap that he's got. Maybe. I to be honest, I don't even know. But some idiot... Now, he's not going to get the race win from Top Tom unless Top Tom has another penalty, like we said. So,
well, he's going to need more than that now, because it's over the 6-second margin as it sits. It's 6.8 between Luca and Top Tom. So he's not only going to need Top Tom to get another penalty, he's also going to need to then somehow find a second in the pace, which currently he's struggling to do.
Yeah, I think Andy's on 3% ERS. He's in trouble.
Yeah. He is in really bad shape right now. Do I think that the soft strategy call was the right one in the end?
Yes.
I don't know. I think ultimately he didn't really gain anything, but I also think ultimately he didn't really lose anything. He would have kept in with that fight, I reckon, and potentially gained more from those up at the front. Hindsight is obviously 2020, but realistically, somebody is still in a fantastic spot. A P2 would be magnificent for him. He actually almost lost the car there. That was a fantastic catch from him. And he is well within now that 1 second margin. 8 seconds is the gap between Samidia and Top Tom. He's going to need a miracle run for the final 2 laps if he wants to pull this out.
I think Top Tom will know about Samidia having no penalties, but he won't know the gap pretty much. So I know Top Tom will be asking Jeff about the gaps a little bit more now. I think Top Tom must be feeling the pressure at the moment. Andy, I know, has got nothing to lose because he's got penalties left, right, and centre, but he's going to be ahead of Luke. He's going to be ahead of Luca anyway, so it's going to be the same people we usually see on the podium, which is, I guess, shows the consistency. I think for these 3 drivers, like they're the ones that fight regularly for podiums, and it's a shame Yenab is not there as well. But we're starting to see more a battle for the best of the rest now. Like, you know, if they qualify well, then they could get good performances, and the way this is going, Ferrari could be on course for their first point.
Yeah, exactly. Luca really could benefit for this and finally get his team off the ground, because they are still sat on the big donut ring of death with 0 points as it sits. But Samidia closing in on Luca. Is this going to be... I think this is more Samidia trying to close the gap on Top Tom, hoping that something happens. But I don't know. I just don't see... Even if he closes in onto Luca, it's going to be very much too little too late now, because Andy, yeah, he's going to lose out regardless. He's going to fall to P3, and I don't think Ben is anywhere near that gap that he needs to close in on Andy and take that position away from him. But Top Tom's obviously getting this win. Samidia, he's getting that big P2. Andy will fall to P3.
Yeah, that will be your podium then. I don't know how these drivers are keeping on the track. I would probably die right now. I've just, and for Davis actually just pointed out to me, Andy has got 11 seconds of penalties, and he's actually ahead of Samidia. So technically, Andy's P2. Ooh, so Samidia could be P3.
Yeah, Samidia will be P3.
So the Racing Point engineers need to tell that to Samidia right now. That's probably why he's pushing.
Oh yeah, I think he knows, to be honest. I think he's already trying as hard as he can to manage it. And let's just have a quick look at the gap to leader right now. Samidia is a second away from Andy's 11-second penalty. Another penalty would be a blessing here for Samidia. If Andy did somehow get himself one more, then that would be fantastic. But yeah, right now, Samidia will be P3 due to Luca's penalties. He needs to gain a second and a 10th if he wants to jump in.
Yep, exactly. And that's going to make the championship more interesting, I would say, if you're the likes of Top Tom. Try to close in a little bit more as well. And when we head to the next track next week, it could make or break sometimes the stuff. And, you know, we know Top Tom, he's very, very talented. He'll be absolutely delighted about this win. And he's got, I like the number he shows as well, 2 car numbers less than the 55 that Science runs. So I think that's probably why he's chosen it. And good taste, I have to say. But Top Tom he had the spin, which could have hindered his race. He thought, you know what, that won't affect my race too much. And he fought back, and he's on course to win. Never give up. That's my motto in life.
Yeah, especially after that nudge earlier. You know, really, really impressive performance from Top Tom. Fantastic drive, and he's really deserved what he's achieved so far. So well done to him. We are going to run on board with Andy as he's going down the hangar straight now for the final time in this Grand Prix. Will cross the line P1, but won't finish in P1 because, like we said, Top Tom, the lad himself, has driven like an absolute madman, and it's been fantastic to see. That's 2 incredible catches we've seen him do in the last 2 races. It was very good. And, you know, the mentality you need to do that. But here he comes, Andy across the line to cross P1, but will fall to P2 as Top Tom will jump and take the win because of the penalties. Fantastic result there from Top Tom. Luca will cross the line here in P3, but will jump to fall right down the order because Samidia will take P3. Ben might actually gain P4 here. Is it enough?
Yeah,
yes, it is. Fantastic result for him then. Yenab P6 before penalty. Beaker P7 also before penalty. Here he comes. That's P7. Here comes Brownie. Goes up to P7. Beaker falls to P8.
Oh,
P9,
look at
sorry,
that pile
as a result.
up.
Yeah, it's getting messy there, isn't it?
Yeah. What did Luca do in the final few laps? Because I thought that Lucas was going to jump Ben, so Luca must have been struggling in the final few laps.
Yeah, I guess so. Luca just couldn't pull it together. I mean, look, still P5. It's big 10 points for his name, but yeah, sad that it ended up the way that it did. Yonsi then with contact from Brownie. Apparently, Brownie broke early, and Yonsi ran into the back of him. Was what I
would say a race. Well, it's up to the stewards, not us. But unlucky for Yonsi. I think that ends his point run. I think, doesn't it?
I think you're right. That's actually a good shout.
That's a shame for Yonti. But we've seen some standout performances from people that you do not expect. Beaker's got points, despite all that's considered. And we've got Toto claiming his first win of the season. 4 winners in 4 races. And Luca gets driver today.
Actually, I just realized Lucas started from the back of the grid. He was dead last at the beginning of the race. And he pulled himself up there to, what was it, P5, P6? I think it was P6 in the end.
No,
That's
P5.
A really good...
I think it was P5.
I thought didn't Ben nick P5? I think Ben nicked P5.
No, Ben nicked P4.
Yes, you may be right. Well, we'll find out in a second when the results come up. Yes, you're right. Ben got P4, Luca got P5. So yeah, Top getting the big Dubsky in his name. That's a massive result for McLaren. They needed that 25-point boost to help them close in a little bit in the constructors, because there's rivals, Mercedes and a P2. Some idiot in P3, Ben P4, Luca P5 with Yenna P6, Brownie in 7th, Danico in 8th with Beaker getting points here in 9th, Hueni in P10, but also gets himself the fastest lap point, so 2 points for him. Assassin, best of the rest, P11, Gelbavan P12, Jesper P13, and Matteo in 14th place. Yonti, the only driver to finish after that, and then it's Dennis copying Dylan and Higgsy, Phoenix legend, all DNFing from this Grand Prix. But don't go anywhere, it's time to go to the interviews with our top 3, and of course, starting with Mr. the man himself. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's some idiot. Let's get him in here and find out where he is. There. Hello, Cody. How you doing?
Hello. I don't know. I'm in a bit of a haze right now.
I mean, look, let's look at the facts about the situation. You started pretty well. You did a really good job to pull it through. I don't know about the soft call, whether or not... I mean, it didn't look like it didn't hinder you, but it also didn't look like it gained you anything in the end. But it's when that rain fell. Something just seemed to shut down. What happened?
Just didn't have the pace in the wet. I just... This is why I'm in such a haze. It's just... What do I do to get to their pace? Because I could stay with them in the dry. By the way, with the tire strategy, I was 3rd. I figured go for win or go to try to hold on to P3, and you know which one I'm going to pick. I'm going to try to go for the win. I thought that had the potential. If the rain came, I don't know. If it was like a longer crossover, I don't know. But with the rain, it was just, I don't know. Maybe the setup just wasn't good for the wet, but it's just, I didn't have that. Remember last week what I said about, I wish I could learn how to go fast. That one just rung in my mind for those last 15 laps. I was driving out of my skin trying to get time, and I was just half a second slower. That's just, and I tear myself apart for it, because how do I make up that difference,
Well, the thing is, the difference maker is that you actually had the most clean drive ever. You didn't have a single warning, as far as I understand it, throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix, which can't be said for any of the drivers that were ahead of you. Despite the fact that they were that little bit faster, they put themselves at massive risk. And that's proven time and time again within the Racing Point team that consistency is always better than that pace. Yes, you still need a degree of pace in order to make it work. And I think you have that. There's only a small little margin that you actually need to fix. I mean, realistically, when it came to the dry, you are actually keeping with them and even some points closing in on them. It's more down to the fact that when the rain started to fall, the pace didn't quite have the same fit there. But I don't think that's something you need to take away as a negative. You need to take away as a positive that you still managed to pull yourself back into that podium position, regardless of the scenario. You made a gamble by taking those soft compound tires. You could argue that it didn't benefit you in the end, but ultimately, you still secured massive points for your team. As far as I can tell, you've actually, as a result of your points and Yenab's points together, I think you've now brought yourselves back into Well, I mean, you're already constructors leaders anyway, but I think you're now in a position where you're actually feeling really comfortable ahead of Mercedes. But McLaren are the ones now that we need to also pay attention to. They've just scored big points here today. This is where you got to really focus on just moving on to next week and getting as good a result as you possibly can again.
You know what I'm looking forward to next week? It's Mexico next week.
Yes. So when I ask you the next question, where's your prediction for Mexico?
Oh, going for broke. I'm not going to say I'm going to win, but that's my
my
personal. That is my personal expectation. That you ever heard of the expression "checkers or wreckers"?
Never heard that.
Never.
Basically, go for the win, or you're coming back on the wrecking truck.
So what he's saying is he's getting the dubski, and that's the way it's going to go down. All right, we'll take that. That's
yeah. No, I'm going to try everything in my ability to try to be there on the top step of the podium next week. Probably not going to happen, but I'm going to aim everything I have for that. I'm going to drive a little bit more out of my skin, like what I did today. But
you drove so well. I know you're being critical of yourself, but you drove really well. Like the consistency was just on point. That was only, we're talking literally a couple of tenths per lap, nothing more than that. That's
I think
minor.
It was a bit more, to be honest, because there was about 5 seconds. I want to say 5 to 6 seconds Tom pulled on me and thus Andy, because they were about the same pace. That's where I'm going to look and see what do I need to do to be better, because that's what I have to do looking forward. How do I be better so I can have a better shot next time when that happens? So I'll take the P3, but wish it was a little more.
Exactly. And next week you're getting a win, so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
No, you will. You will.
Favorite track of the season. Gonna drive I'm gonna give it all I got, like every week. But this one means a little more.
All right, mate. Well, congratulations on the P3 regardless. I know that you're not over the moon about it, but I'm very pleased for you. And I think it was a really good result for your team. I look forward to seeing you smash it up in Mexico next week.
We're going to try. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And now, because Andy is not around, we're going to bring in the race winner, the lad himself, Thomas Harvey. How you doing?
The lad himself? All right.
Yeah. Hey!
The man, the mission. Can I just point out, 2 weeks in a row, you've had some insane saves. Like, are you just built different or what?
Just trying to replicate the result of Japan, really, for the fans. But no, I think that was a close one. But it was just one of them racing incidents where, I was in an awkward spot and I just didn't react to time. And, you could argue space can be left here or whatever, but it's what it is. It didn't cost me in the end, so,
Well, yeah, exactly. And actually, let's talk about that win, because obviously Andy had pace and he was looking very quick. You were pretty much keeping up with him after you realized how to take the track. When that wet weather fell, it was like you struggled initially, and then it's like you just clicked all of a sudden. Would you agree with that?
I think there was no particular. I think initially, very initially, I was staying the same pace. Then he randomly gained like 6 tenths of miles a man. But then after that, it was fairly even. So, he definitely had a bit more pace in the wet, but in the end, obviously, he spent the pits and that cost him. So, in the end, it didn't matter. But, I think maybe you need to look into improving wet pace a bit more. But, yeah. So, that when he bottles, that I can capitalise a bit better. But, obviously, today, he spent the pits, his mistake. And I just took advantage. So, yeah, it happens.
Now, you did get some penalties against you. This isn't the first time this has happened. Is it consistency something you are concerned about?
The first 2 I just got dirty out. I think after the spin, that was stupid. And then I got the one at the S's, which was just my fault. They're all my fault, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, those 2 warnings were just silly, and that shouldn't have happened. So really, I shouldn't have got a pen. And in the end, yeah, it could have cost me if you didn't speed. So yeah, I need to be more consistent. But today it got a bit lucky, so we'll take it.
Well, happy days. Look, congratulations. You've still got a huge amount of points for your team. It actually closes the gap a little bit in the Constructors to help sort of bring you further into it. I mean, you are still in that Constructors Championship, but your team is letting you down a little bit.
He is a bit... We're Team Bottle Job for a reason. Let's put it that way. And,
wow.
the the moment it is a bit of a one-man show, okay, but nah, I mean, Dylan's got pace. He's been unfortunate. He had a bit of his wheel was coming off force feedback, then light force feedback, bit of a mess.
Also similar to what Dennis was suffering like a few races last week, I think, wasn't it?
And today, he had the same thing as well today. That's why I DNF'd.
Oh.
So might have to contact Freshmaster on that one, but yeah, I mean, it's so yeah, he's just a bit unlucky for him. Today could have been more obviously decent points. Probably could have been, at least in the top 6, top 7. But yeah, it happens. I'm not too bothered about the Constructors' Championship. Just having fun, really. And obviously be a bonus if we can pick up any championships. So yeah.
Now, I spoke to some idiot earlier, and he said that he's going to dump all over you next week in Mexico.
I imagine. I can affirm that's a lie. I can affirm that's a lie. I'm still here.
No.
I think for the sake of the interview, that is the complete truth, and I should take that extremely personally.
Absolutely.
Are you going to challenge some idiot next week? Come on.
So, probably easy win. At least lap the field.
That's what we're talking about.
The smackdown has been laid. I cannot wait now.
Well, I'm going to need a miracle next week.
I mean, next week is going to be penalty central, and that's the thing. It's going to come down
to. That's where I need to build my consistency. That's where I was kind of instigating when I was asking, like, are you worried about next week? Because next week is going to kill you. I'm confident if I'm not an idiot that I
get
a good lap. But obviously, in the race, that's the race. I need to sort out penalties. So yeah.
Alrighty. Well, congratulations on the big 25 points. That was a really good, solid result, a really good, solid drive. And I look forward to seeing you both battle it out at Mexico, where somebody's going to throw you in the dirt, apparently.
One thing I want to say.
Go on.
One thing I want to say. Last season, Tom no pens. I had a 3-second. So don't count.
Mexico?
Yeah, last season. Yeah, he had no pens.
Really?
I had 3-second pens. So he knows how to get around there. You know how to get around there.
We'll
it was looking good for P2, but it's like controversial. It's like controversial things happen. But we move on.
Oh, yeah.
We move on.
I forgot that was that week. Yeah. Well, neither of those drivers are here this season.
Hopefully, no controversy. It's a fun, clean race then.
Well, you're in the controversial team, so if it's going to happen, it'll be you that's doing it.
Then, no.
That would be very controversial.
That would be. Can you imagine it? Yeah, if it's a McLaren thing, like Zach Brown just calls down, Tom, back up the field. Roger that. All right, well, congratulations on the big dub. Thank you very much for both of you today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I cannot wait to see you guys duke it out over in Mexico.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
That's it for the Rwagnation League GP here in Britain. What a banger it's been. Was it 2 safety cars, rain? What more do you need in a race? That was everything we could ever ask for in F1 and a little bit more.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that race. It definitely had everything. The typical British weather finally came towards the end there, but I think Top Tom delivered and he's got a win in his pocket. But I have a feeling Andy, I just wish Andy can cut on the penalties because that's what lost in the win today.
Yeah. I mean, I think realistically, Andy, if you're talking pure pace alone, is P1 by far. He's a good couple of tenths at least ahead of the others. But the issue is his consistency. It's all well and good being rapid, but if you can't keep it clean, then you're in big trouble, aren't you? So we'll see whether or not he can actually recover that for next week.